Hey guys, M13 here. These are my gloves. I really need new gloves. They got look at there's big holes in them, and I also use these gloves to pick up the Drano that I sprayed all underneath my sink. So they actually got, and at the time when I was picking stuff up, like the leather got soaked through with the acid, and my fingers were like burning as I was wearing them. And I'm wearing them again today, and I can feel like a bit of a. It could just be in my head, but it feels like my fingers are still burning because there's probably still some like granules in them. And the way it works with that stuff is it's granular, and you put it in, and then when it touches something wet, it becomes extremely hot and starts to burn through things. That's how it unclogs your sink. You drop it in the. They tell you first to get all the water out of your sink. How like how do you do that? The sink's clogged. That's the problem in the first place. If I could get the water out of it, I wouldn't need the frickin' declogger. Anyway, so they tell you to get the water out one way or another. You gotta suck it out or something. And then you drop the granulars in, and then when they go down the sink, they'll hit the obstacle, and the obstacle should be moist. And then when it touches that moisture, it'll burn through it. Anyway, so I think some of the acid might have dried in the gloves, becoming granular again or becoming hard again. And then as I'm riding, I'm starting to like sweat or whatever. Yeah. Moral of the story. Ooh, flowers. Not especially pretty. Actually, that's kind of nice. I just gotta get a whole field of them there. It's very normal. When you get a field of flowers like this, it's very normal to have like some Taiwanese people stopped on the side of the road and going out and standing in them and getting the pictures taken. I've never done that. I've taken pictures of sunflowers. That's about it. But sunflowers, I think, are a bit more impressive than these things. I guess those are like rice flowers because these are rice fields, right? So maybe that's flowers that come up during the winter when the rice is hibernating. Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, the moral of the story is I need new gloves. And I've needed new gloves for about a year, but every time I go and look at gloves, I'm just like, I can't afford it. Hey, a windmill. Look, we're in England. Actually, it looks like a British windmill because of the fact that it has like green moss growing up. Oh, this house does too. I wonder what that is. It's probably. I'm guessing it was like a restaurant at one point. I'm guessing it isn't anymore. Yeah, I'd move over too if I were you. That guy on the bicycle, he was like totally on my side of the lane. Yep, turn your headlights on, man. Yeah, so I'm going for a ride. I got up early. It's Sunday, and I had a bit of a rough Saturday. My son had a Christmas show on Saturday. He goes to daycare, and then the daycare puts on a Christmas show where all the kids dance and stuff. And so yeah, so it was just, I'm trying to like avoid saying the truth. My wife's stupid. That's what the truth is. He had to be at the show, like dressed and ready to go and fed and everything at 5:30, which means he would have to probably wake up from his afternoon nap around 4. He normally wakes up from his afternoon nap around 5 or 5:30. So he had to wake him up an hour and a half. He had to wake up an hour and a half earlier than he normally would, which isn't that difficult. It just means that you need to, the night before, maybe have him go to bed earlier, and then that morning have him wake up earlier, and then that way he'll take his afternoon nap earlier. So what does my wife do? On Friday night, she takes him like downtown and doesn't get home till like 10:30 at night, when normally he'd already be in bed by then. And he takes a shower every second day, and he needed a shower that day, so that means by the time he's finished, I bathe him and stuff. So by the time I finished giving him a bath. It was like 11 o'clock at night. He'd already, you know, he should already be asleep, and then he has to go to the bedroom and read books and calm down. So he probably wasn't asleep until like midnight or something. And then which, you know, it's still salvageable because all you got to do is have him wake up early the next morning, and then, you know, a little bit of lack of sleep, and then he'll be even easier to go to bed early in the afternoon. But no, of course my wife sleeps in with him, you know, and she sets her alarm, but she ignores it and just keeps. And then she yells at me for not waking them up, even though her alarm was going off, and she was getting out of bed to turn it off. And then she yells at me for not coming in. I'm like, fuck. So yeah, so needless to say, he barely got any sleep in the afternoon. Luckily, regardless, he was still in a good mood, and he didn't. Yeah, because they're saying, like, if the kid doesn't get enough sleep, or he doesn't take his afternoon nap, and he isn't fed and everything, when he goes to the performance and he sees a big crowd watching him, he'll just cry and get scared and be in a bad mood. Hi! Hi! How goes a Are you a scooter? You guys sometimes wonder why I'm able to, you know, make a fool out of myself for my video. The answer is no self-worth. Once you got that down, your videos will be good for all you other biker vloggers out there. First, you got to master the no self-worth, and then your videos will just go up from there.
The Asian guy is just staring at the tiger's penis and getting hungry.